Hello Cancer, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess, here to do your read for the week of the 30th of September through to the 6th of October. I'm a little early, but it's always good to be early with this. I'm busy tomorrow, so I wouldn't have had a chance. So thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I don't know, I keep saying how truly grateful I am. I don't know whether people really believe me, but that's fine. I'm pretty overwhelmed by it all. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love to have you on board. If my readings don't resonate with you, I'm happy for you to move on, but please make sure you check up other aspects of your birth chart before you move. So sometimes your moon will resonate with you a lot more than what your sun sign will. It certainly does with me. I always watch my Libra as well because my Libra moon is quite dominant really, which is very nice. So Cancer, today I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot for your readings. And I will talk through your spirit guides to you. Okay, ready to go. Okay, so we have the Seven of Swords coming up first. Now, the Seven of Swords is one of those cards a lot of people sort of see very as a very negative card, and I don't. I know they talk about it sometimes being the card of deceit because this guy is seen to be stealing these and leaving these behind. But sometimes I think this guy gets a bad rap because for me this could be you stealing away in the night with lessons you've learned. Ideas and thoughts. You could be escaping someone rather than stealing, or it could just be you moving forward with these things, but you're doing it in a very quiet and deliberate manner. But definitely moving forward with something, you've definitely thought about this a lot, whatever it is. These thoughts and feelings, ideas are very strong. That's why you feel the need to move forward with them very quickly. Okay, so the first card out is the Moon. So if the Seven of Swords is looking like somebody's doing something, that may not be kosher, it could mean that there are secrets being held here. Now, the Moon does represent the sign of Pisces or Cancer, so it could be this is about you too. So this person with the Seven of Swords and the Moon showing that there are things yet unknown, it could be that this person is doing something a little untoward, and that could be you, Cancer, or it could be the other person. I'm not quite sure. But something's going on here because there's definitely this feeling of not having all the truth. Okay, let's see where this reading goes. Okay, and then we have the Hanged Man. Now, the Hanged Man talks about taking time out to have a think about things. It's a time you're looking for enlightenment. You're looking at how to see things differently. Sometimes we can take this time out if we're confused about a decision or a situation where we need to think about which direction we're going to go in. But it's certainly the card of reviewing and looking at things very differently. So it's very possible, Cancer, that you found out something about someone that doesn't sit right with you. And with the Moon here, it makes me feel like you don't really know all the answers, but rather than jump to conclusions, you're taking the time out to think about it. Interesting. Okay, so the next card we have out is the Emperor. Now, the Emperor talks about a person who is like the top of their game. They can be someone who's done extremely well in business. They could be, like a very executive manager. But they're also a person who's put in all the work to get to where they are. They haven't come across this easily. They're very powerful. They're sort of the person that when you stand in their shadow, you feel a little intimidated by their energy because it's so powerful. They're very comfortable with who they are. Now, this could be where you are at the moment, or it could be someone that you're actually going to for advice. So sometimes it can be a father figure or a counsellor or somebody that you respect. So it could be that you're moving towards him to ask him some advice on where you're up to. We'll see. The energy is a little different here. I'm trying to get hold of it. Okay, the next card out is the Two of Pentacles. Now, the Two of Pentacles is a card that talks about balance. It talks about balancing things out in your life. Now, I really feel for somebody here. Somebody's found out something about their partner that doesn't feel right to them at all. So either their partner's, been out having an affair. That's why the Seven of Swords has come up. There's definitely some deceitful behaviour here within a relationship. And I feel like you're taking time out and trying to make a decision and perhaps talk to somebody about what way you go with this. It feels like to me, even though I can't see anything here, that it might be something like a marriage where you're trying to decide whether to come or go. The Emperor definitely feels like an energy of having some advice. Even though it doesn't really look like it could be legal, it could be that you are speaking to a solicitor. But at the moment in the Hanged Man, you're laying very low on this before you make decisions, and you're not really sure what decision you're going to make here either. Okay, and then we have the Lovers. So, the Lovers talks about, this can be soulmates. It's two people who are meant to be together. And it could have been this was the way your relationship was, and now something's happened to make it different. It could be that you want to walk away from something to find something new. So I'll have to sit on that one for a moment because there's a very confusing energy here. Okay, and then we have the Nine of Cups. Now, I can't help thinking that perhaps you're really disappointed that your relationship didn't work out. I feel like somewhere along the way, you either wished it could go back to the way it was in the Two of Cups, but you know that's not possible because you're tossing up whether to leave or not. But for me, this definitely has an energy of, now, it could be that you have done something. You may have had an affair with someone, or you may have had an extramarital relationship, and you may already have a partner. You could have met someone else while you're with your current partner. But there's this feeling here that it could be you that wants to move on to someone else, and this is why you're consulting with this Emperor, because you need to make this decision. And you're having a lot of problems with this decision. But because the Two of Cups has come up now with the Nine of Cups, that would say to me you want to move on from something that's not serving you anymore. But there's definitely some behaviour here that makes me think that it could be you or the other person. And again, with the energy switching backwards and forwards. If this is you, Cancer, then it would say to me that you are wanting to move away from something to go to something new. Okay, yeah, look, because you're in love with someone else. Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me now. So you want to move on from something you've outgrown something. It could be they've done something to you and now you've chosen to move on, or it could be that you have decided to move on and you're seeking some sort of support, advice from someone else, because you can't make that decision without putting things in place. Okay, and then we have the Eight of Swords. Now that says to me you're very much stuck in your head about this at the moment. I don't remember your last reading to remember what was going on for you, but it sort of feels very familiar here. So I'm not sure if that was you or whether it was another read, where it's hard to walk away from someone for someone new because you have this equal love or respect for both. So this talks about being sort of trapped in your own fear more than anything. So it's not just about walking away from this for you, or more, you want to walk onto something new. However, something about the old situation really has you tied up in knots here. And you've blindfolded yourself so you don't have to look. It's like I'm just going to move forward and I'm not going to look at anything. Okay, and then we have the King of Rods. So you could be walking towards a Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. or somebody who has very fiery passion. I know it shows the king, but this could be a king or a queen that you're moving towards. It also could be the energy that you're bringing up to be able to do this. Because maybe you're feeling, if you sit in your feelings, that it's just too much and too overwhelming. So you want this more of a take charge and rush forward energy. Because you're definitely taking on this very, very mature, passionate energy to get through this. And I feel it's the only way, Cancer, that you're able to do this properly. And look, so here we have the Six of Cups. So I feel strongly like this could be someone from your past that you're moving towards, someone you've known for a while. It could be, you know, someone you've known since childhood. It could be someone you've met along the way, but you've had like this very long-standing relationship with them. It could be a friendship, but you're definitely moving to something that you've known because it's somebody from your past. Now, the one thing that it could be too is that you have met someone that you have a past life connection with, and that would make sense too. So you're definitely walking towards something that you want to be with and something you love. But in order to do that, you've got to let what you've currently got go, and this is your dilemma at the moment. That's tough reading, that one. Had some toughies today, I can tell you. So let's just put an oracle card on this. At least you're seeking some sort of advice here anyway. If you feel that strongly about moving on to something else, I don't think it's that easy for you though. Okay, you have the card of King Solomon, which talks about priorities. So I guess the way it relates to this reading is, you know, you need to have your house in order before you move on. This is very much about like crossing your T's and dotting your I's here. So I don't know whether you've got a lot of history with this past person in regards to property, money, you know, all those sort of things, or whether it just means that you have to be really really focused moving forward, maybe to avoid this energy of the Eight of Swords, so you're not worrying or fretting. But it's a lovely reading. I mean, I can see here there's love for you. Thanks, Cancer.